All right, putzes, back at the Magic Culvert, but I'm not here to mine the Magic Culvert. Here it is behind me in all of its glory, all of its empty glory. So sometimes when you find a good spot, it's more important to figure out where the heck it came from than to just mine it out. So what we've got here, the stream, basically there's a big bend in the stream. It comes around like this and back towards us. And up above you can hear the traffic from a major 4-lane road. It's just a very urban spot. And notice how these blocks here, it's a fairly steep slope there. That's, if not vertical, like 60 degrees. If you look at historical aerial photo maps, aerial photos, you'll notice that most of this stuff here, most of this flood control material here was actually not present 15 years ago. I think I looked back at 2009, it wasn't there. So suffice it to say that a lot of erosion was happening from these slopes here and that slope there. So the big flow was coming into this slope and eating away at it. Why do I think that's perspective? Well, I know that there's good gold that away. So what I'm going to do is try to sample the rocks on this side of the stream, and without, of course, undermining the flood control. And run through a sluice. You know, never have much time. It's winter, but. Give you a look at that material. It just comes out of the hillside around that tree there. So you got definitely a lot of pebbles, very gravelly. Not as clay rich as I would have expected. So I'm going to classify this out. So that was a good pan full right there. Found a spot where it's decomposing bedrock. You could see where they had taken an excavator and dug into the existing bedrock to drop those drainage rocks down. So I don't know if this is virgin material, but it's closer to the stuff that we're looking for. When I think most of the gold here is kind of in the old decomposing bedrock right on top of it. So this will be a good one to pan out. I'm left with about a third of a bucket of very fine grain material. A lot of mud in there, a lot of clay in there. Let's sluice this out. So many leaves. All right, got a little pan. Now I got one speck on the side. Piece of lead shot in there. Two flakes. There you go, 2 micro dots, which is not necessarily bad. I think it proves that there's gold in the hills. What it doesn't prove, though, is where did the big gold come from? Could just be that the big gold is really sparse and the Magic Culvert concentrates it, but I do believe there's probably some spots that have concentrated big gold. So I'm going to look on the other side of the stream. Again, we're still upstream from the Magic Culvert, and maybe this this inside bend here is representative. So let's dig again. This is the bedrock. There's bedrock, and kind of decomposing bedrock. It's interesting material there. I don't know what that is. Odd. All right, got some interesting material there. It's some gooey clay, some not so gooey clay. We got chunks of bedrock. Anyway, it's a hodgepodge, but it is virgin. It's not reworked. Busting this up the best I can. I don't feel as bad digging into the side as long as I'm not undermining the roots of the trees. This slope here is not at any risk of erosion. This is not the other side is the one that is the problem. Probably can't see that, but we've got pretty nice stratification here. You can see this is the actual competent bedrock. Up above it is sort of a light clay layer, kind of reddish. Up above here is more soil, I would say. I would suspect that the pay is kind of right in here. So it's actually almost a rock. See here, it's just sort of lightly cemented gravel. Got some cobbles in there. So this is virgin material. This is hopefully the good stuff. Didn't get very much that time. It was hard digging, but I'm running out of light, so I'll have to make this the last sluice. Much more black sand than the stuff up from the hill. Ran out of light. I could see gold in there. May have been some bigger pieces. Definitely some smaller pieces. So I'll have to bring it home. So for a tiny amount of material, that looks promising. But we'll see you back at the HQ. All right, I'm back to the Magic Culvert, trying to figure out why I get big gold in there and not other places. Been digging around, doing some testing. Here's a spot that it's actually in kind of bedrock. So you get the bedrock here, and you've got the kind of decomposed layer there. Some clays in there. Definitely, there's gold in there. I've dug out mostly small pieces. But where I got those big pieces that I just showed you is kind of a little mini Magic Culvert. You see here, this is riprap that was placed probably quite a long time ago because they actually concreted it in. And you can see that there's the edge of the concrete. But I think they came back and added more riprap later, so this rock here is probably added later. But you can see under there, there's basically a cavity. I could go reach about a foot under there, and that's where I pulled, I got about 1/8 of a bucket, pulled, a couple nice pieces, and all the gold in there was big. So I wouldn't say I've succeeded in finding the source of the Magic Culvert gold. I think it could just be that these soils and clays here have just diffuse gold, and every once in a while, every 1,000th piece is big, and these hydrodynamic anomalies trap them. I don't know. And certainly the Magic Culvert is a hydrodynamic anomaly, and this little cavity in it is too. So here's the result of my latest trip to the Magic Culvert area. I didn't dig very much out of the Magic Culvert itself. I just was digging around, trying to find the source of the gold. Had some mixed success there. I did dig out the Magic Culvert a little bit. The yield is kind of dropping, which I think is good in a way. It tells me that it's probably cleaned out. So anyway, let's get this weighed up. Okay, let's weigh up the latest haul. Not very much. Call it 10 milligrams. Figure I'll do an all-time weigh. I've been getting after it lately. Almost to half a gram there. I've got a second vial. This is from the 26 bucket challenge here. Hey, look at that. 0.629, 0.63. So maybe if I get after it this weekend, I can move it close to a gram. Let's see.